I've worn a Garmin watch on my left wrist every single day for almost a decade. Over the years, I've been tempted many times to switch to an Apple Watch. Apple Watches have a lot of cool features with tons of apps to download, the ability to call and text people, but despite having lots of features I'm jealous of, I have never switched from Garmin. And if you've been trying to decide on which device to wear on your wrist, I am going to tell you exactly why. Running is my main hobby. I just finished my second marathon about 2 months ago, and at least of the Garmins I've used, they are fitness trackers first with quite a few smart features. And the Apple Watch is a smartwatch with really nice fitness tracking features. The number one factor that keeps me with Garmin is battery life, and the battery life enables all of the amazing health and fitness tracking features. I currently wear the Garmin Forerunner 965, which is on the higher end of performance and price for Garmin watches, and it has since been replaced by the Forerunner 970. On average, I get 2 weeks of battery life on a single charge of this watch. It's more than 2 years old at this point, and I use it a lot. The only time I take this watch off is for charging, so it's constantly measuring my heart rate. The fitness tracking functions, especially ones that use GPS like outdoor running and cycling, do drain the battery much faster than standard use, but even tracking runs on average 5 days per week, the battery life still lasts weeks. If there's a window where I don't use the GPS very much, I have had this thing last for up to 3 weeks. I should specify that I always keep the watch in wake mode instead of having the display on all the time. I know some people dislike this setting on all types of watches, but this particular Garmin is super responsive. I don't have any issues getting the display to turn on when I want it. My first Garmin watch was the Forerunner 935, which came out a little over 9 years ago. When I upgraded to the 965, I gave my 935 to my spouse, and that thing still gets up to a week of battery life depending on usage. The current Apple Watch Series 11 is officially rated for 24 hours of battery life, and the Apple Watch Ultra 3, which is Apple's most high-end wearable device, is only rated for 2 days. Those ratings are with the always-on display, and users have found that turning off the always-on display can squeeze another half day out of the Series 11 and another full day on the Ultra 3. The 935 display is very bare bones compared to any Apple Watch and the AMOLED display on the Forerunner 965, but even a very old Garmin beats the Ultra on battery. For reference, the Forerunner 935 came out 6 months before the Apple Watch Series 3. The Forerunner 965 is more in common with the Ultra in terms of price, but even the entry-level Forerunner 165, which is the same price as the Apple Watch SE, is rated to have 11 days of battery life. You might be thinking, sure, the battery life is way longer, but Apple Watches have fast charging, and I can just top it off whenever I want. And yeah, that is true, but in order to get the most out of these wearable devices, sleep tracking is huge. Pretty much all of your best recovery metrics like heart rate variability, resting heart rate, stress, pulse ox, and respiration are best measured during sleep. And yes, you can put your Apple Watch to charge before bed and put it on again right before you go to sleep for tracking purposes. But for me, that is not an inconvenience I want to deal with. I know I would forget to charge it and I would miss out on my sleep data, or I would remember to charge it, but then I would need to charge it in the morning and it won't have enough juice to track my next run. And to really reap the benefits of sleep tracking, you need to do it consistently, because long-term sleep trends are way more important than how you slept on any given night. And sleep tracking is the most important factor in my favorite Garmin feature, training readiness. I run a lot, and how hard I go is usually dependent on my training readiness score. If I trained hard the previous day and slept poorly, Garmin coach will say I should take it easy, and the workout the watch suggests will adjust automatically based on this score. While I'm not actively marathon training and following a specific plan, this feature makes my life much easier, having to think about what I should do on any given day way less. Sleep tracking also benefits the training status metric, which is a long-term measure of how productive your workouts are, like if you're getting faster or able to run for longer. And if you're not recovering from training well, your training status is also negatively affected. And having a battery life that's measured in days and weeks instead of hours enables all this important data collection. If you don't have that data, the training readiness and training status don't really work. There are too many training tools to cover in this video, but if training is a big priority for you, a Garmin watch is an incredibly useful tool. If training isn't a big priority, Apple Watches do have a lot of exclusive health measurements that Garmin doesn't have. One big thing it has is the electrocardiogram feature. While this isn't perfect and it shouldn't be a substitute for a medical diagnosis, when it comes to your heart, it can be a useful tool for detecting issues. Apple Watches also have sleep apnea detection features, and it even has a new feature that can help detect hypertension and high blood pressure. But one thing to note is that you have to make sure you're tracking your sleep consistently for these detectors to be most effective. And battery life is obviously a limiting factor. When it comes to actual location tracking accuracy, the consensus is that Garmin used to be the clear winner, especially way back in the day when Apple Watches used to piggyback off the GPS signal from your phone. Apple has closed the gap significantly in this regard, but it is model dependent. The Apple Watch Ultra line features multi-band GPS for improved accuracy, but the SE and Series 11 don't. Garmin's series of very expensive adventure watches like the Enduro or the Tactics are designed for serious trail-based ultra running and are known for incredible GPS accuracy. But even the more affordable Forerunners like the 165 and 265 feature multi-band GPS. When I'm about to go on a run, I can go into the settings and change the GPS signal for improved accuracy at the cost of some battery life, or I can do the opposite and sacrifice accuracy for lower battery usage. But 99% of the time, I just leave it in the auto settings and have no problems. Runners and cyclists obviously care a lot about tracking accuracy because even if it's a little bit inaccurate, your per mile pace can also be inaccurate, which will negatively impact your training. For me, the reason I want a wearable device is for health and fitness tracking, and I don't want to think about it very much. It just lives on my wrist and I have to charge it 2 to 3 times per month. The Apple Watch is just a different experience. It can do more thanks to cellular connectivity, has more smart features, and way more third-party accessories and apps, and it can function as an extension of your iPhone. And this is another key point. If you're an Android user, the Garmin Connect app actually has a few more features than the iOS version, and you'll be deciding between a Garmin and a Google or Samsung wearable. Bottom line, if fitness tracking is your main priority like it is for me, I would get a Garmin. If you're a runner or a cyclist and you want to train better, it'll help you out and it's all enabled by the battery life. If fitness tracking takes more of a backseat to the other features, then the Apple Watch makes a ton of sense. Again, I am jealous of a lot of the things the Apple Watch can do, but running is my hobby. That doesn't say you can't be a runner and use an Apple Watch, but Garmin just suits my needs better. But what do you think? Are you an Apple Watch fan or a Garmin fan? Or is there a different wearable device that you swear by? Let us know. And be sure to check out all of our wearable tech reviews and comparisons on this site. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.